afternoon, everyone. I am Neha Gupta from Shipway and your host for the today. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I wanted to give a warm welcome to all of you for joining this fantastic session where we are going to talk about maximize festive season sales, strategies for product discovery and seamless customer experience. Today's event is brought to you by Shipway, a shipping automation platform and awarded as Logistics Startup of the Year. Shipway has finally unveiled its one-stop solution for all the D2C brands. That is Shipway One, compact solution of 5 different apps into a single platform. Now brands can partner with Shipway and leverage its plethora of post-purchase offerings such as courier aggregation, shipment intelligence, tracking and notifications, fraud detection, return and exchange without having to opt for different apps for different functions. Now, I would like to give a big shout out to our co-powered by session partner, India Mart, India's largest online B2B marketplace connecting buyers with suppliers, with 60% market share of the online B2B classified space in India. The channel focuses on providing platform to small and medium enterprises, large enterprises, as well as individuals. Another shout out to our co-powered session partner, GreenHonchos, India's leading full-stack D2C enabler, helping brands exponentially scale their exclusive online channel profitably with a technology-driven and performance-oriented approach towards operational ease and enhanced conversions. At Shipway, our aim is to bring to our online merchants community some of the inspiring stories, experts' advice, insights, latest trends, learning and opportunities from D2C industry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give a warm welcome to our speakers for today. We have brought in another successful business owners and industry experts in the field of growth from D2C ecosystem. Guys, we have with us Puneet Gupta, co-founder and CEO of Easy Ecom. Puneet, please introduce yourself and tell the viewers about the vision behind Easy Ecom and what will the growth strategy of Easy Ecom in the coming time.
Sure. Thanks, Neha. Thanks a lot for having me here today. I mean, this is very exciting times for all of us who are involved in e-commerce. And as the festive season is, starting to show, we are talking about new sales coming up. I mean, everybody is gearing up for more and more volumes. So I think the timing of this webinar cannot be any better. I think this is very apt to talk about strategies and talk about how we can capture capture this seasonality and basically grow with the trend, right? And overall Easy Com is basically aligned with uh, this vision of growing with the customers, where as our customers grow, we grow. So as a platform, our endeavor is to provide growth opportunities for our customers, so they don't have to work with individual channels one at a time. So we provide like a unified integrated platform with more and more sales opportunities, where the idea is to integrate as many sales channels as possible. So I mean, in aggregate, the volume for brands starts to grow as you increase your integration in terms of sales channel platforms. And obviously, as the top festive season of the year is basically nearby, we are going to see a lot more volumes and basically very peak days. I mean, in a day you might get 10 times the volume. So in order to manage all this, very, very important to have a very seamless way of running the operations. And obviously we come in the more in the lines of post-purchase, after the customer has purchased the products from any of the e-commerce avenues. Now, after that, it's brand's responsibility to basically deliver a very fantastic experience, and we are one of those enablers basically doing that. So scalability of the platforms, providing the exposure, and also providing options in terms of, let's say we talk about the post-purchase, I mean, the fulfillment, the warehousing, and the courier partners. Very, very important to have the redundancies in place. So as a platform, we integrate with as many the fulfillment partners, courier partners, and obviously Shipway being one of the leading providers there. We are very happy to be integrated with Shipway as well. So looking forward to the festive season from here on.
Thank you, Puneet. Thank you so much for sharing the introduction. Great, a very warm welcome. Now, I would like to introduce Gaurav Gupta, co-founder Shipway. Gaurav, please walk us through your entrepreneurial journey and what is the vision and purpose of Shipway?
So, so basically, the why we started Shipway, we just wanted to experiment on our own, right? So that was a single idea when we started, and currently, like what we are trying to achieve is we're trying to empower sellers with the help of technology, right? So that they can automate their complete back office operations and do the seamless shipping and in turn to be able to deliver an excellent customer experience. So this is the vision of what we stand for.
Thank you so much for sharing your entrepreneurial journey with us. Awesome. Now we have Navin Joshua, founder and director, GreenHonchos. Navin, what's inspired you to become entrepreneur? Please share your journey and how did you get the idea for your business?
Sorry, I was unmuting myself. I was saying, the question was more glamorous than the journey. The journey, I think, for all of us here has been a lot of hard yards. It is lovely to see all the peers, at least in the 5-6 years. We've all been e-commerce mercenaries in the market. There's a time at which we were more, in the education phase, especially pre-COVID. All of us were on our entrepreneurial journeys at that time. But, again, to be honest, we've all probably started somewhere and today we are somewhere else. Not only in terms of growth, but also the exact business idea. Because the entrepreneurial journey was started off, for example, for GreenHonchos, been nearly a decade. We thought, basis my previous experience, we knew that the India e-commerce scenario is going to boom. But in which direction, Myntra and Amazon taught everyone and spoiled everyone for choice in the catalog as well as with COD and all of that, this created more buyer propensity. So all of us are happy to now be in that space where at least the customer has adopted the channel of e-commerce a lot more than earlier due to a variety of reasons that we know of. But yeah, we started off wanting to become a technology implementation partner across the front end in a headless environment where we would be multi kind of stack because we started off with that as a need. But more and more today, we talk so much about D2C. So yes, we are D2C entrepreneurs, but at that time the nomenclature of D2C wasn't even there. Everything was B2C. फिर ये नया नाम आया, and at the end of the day, businesses think that even marketplaces is direct to consumer anyway. But now exclusive e-commerce or the own website business or first party data is termed as D2C, while the other remains B2C. So I think all of us have gone through pivots in businesses. The one thing very clearly is, we've kept our ears and eyes very closely on the market and what our consumers want or what our clients and customers want. And that creates the pivoting. So I think more exciting than starting the entrepreneurial journey is all the pivots that we've made in our businesses along the way to remain as fresh as possible to create and provide solutions to the India e-commerce ecosystem.
Wonderful. A very warm welcome, Naveen. Finally, we have with us Abhishek Singhal, AVP India Mart. Abhishek, please introduce yourself and what innovative service does India Mart offer to online merchants community?
Thanks, Neha, and hello everybody. Glad to be here. So I'm probably the only non-co-founder or founder of the in the panel, but I've had my share of entrepreneurial journey before I joined India Mart. I was running my e-commerce, so startup, and like the attendees I have. So I've been the other side where I was into a B2B e-commerce for baby and kids products that I ran for 3 years. And at India Mart, currently I am leading the e-commerce vertical over here. This is a fairly new vertical. India Mart has been there for the last 25 years, as we all know, and has been, bringing the sellers and the buyers together, making business easy, right? So that is what we do. But in this e-commerce, what we are doing is we realize the potential of connecting the buyers and sellers, not just from a B2B perspective, but we are also looking at the retail buyers who are like you and me, who are looking to explore new brands, discover new products in the market, because the D2C boom has brought a lot of companies into the foray, and they have a lot to offer, and not just big brands, but the newer brands that are there. So we started with this initiative where we are helping newer brands to get discovery easy, quicker, and cost effective, and so that they can increase their business potential, get more visitors, and run a profitable business going forward. So that is what we are doing over here, and we'll be talking more about what we have to offer from the India Mart perspective to all the attendees today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for sharing the details with us and the introduction with us. Again, I would like to thank you all for the quick introduction and sharing your entrepreneurial journey with us. We are thrilled and excited to have you all join us today. Really being pleasure hosting you all. Here is a quick announcement, guys. If you have any questions, please drop them in a questions tab so that our experts will answer them. All right, get ready and buckle up, everyone. Let's kick off this session with a burst of high energy, moving ahead with our next set of questions for the session. What effective strategies can business implement to proactively identify and track emerging trends in industry during the festive season? Naveen, we can start this question with you.
Oh, okay, that broke the sequence, but yeah, glad to start this thread. I think this festive season, Puneet briefly, kind of mentioned a lot of the sellers, merchants, brands have very high expectations of sales, especially since we are now on the back of a fairly weak retail sales last couple of months. In May and June, also heading into July. Right now is when, sales have just begun to pick up, and all of us are looking at a solid 4 months of scale up because the buyer propensity is going to increase. That's what this entire discussion is about. I think as a lot of the backward integration and the planning that brands are doing, this time around is based on trying to scale profitably. I think the environment overall has changed a bit, where only top line without bottom line, is not as desirable any longer. So brands are trying to get extremely tight and innovative, trying to look at leakages and leakage controls through every step of the customer journey. So, I foresee that in this event season, e-commerce will play a very large role, in terms of the share of sales, even for offline retailers. The one more effective strategy that I think works really well is eventization, especially from an e-commerce and a digital landscape perspective. The first phase of digital brands really scaling up and then plateauing, because there is a particular period where awareness, even while it is low, but by performance marketing you can kind of push performance till a point, but that's the 0 to 1 journey, and then it gets stuck. And then the brand journey, or what we're calling as the content to commerce journey of differentiation. So eventization, communication, a little more brand awareness is something that I'm seeing, and we are working with a lot of the brands to try and create that differentiation so that when peak sales comes, the cost of acquisition is not as high, while you have to push market with lesser awareness. So a lot of creation in that backend planning uh, is going in this time with, because there's an expectation of sales, but also higher ROAS, as they call it, or return on ad spends.
I
So yeah,
completely,
and obviously
yeah.
it's open up.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Naveen. I think through eventization, company can actually solidify their brand presence in the market, and which will minimize their effort in terms of the, reducing the CAC and then customer acquisition as well. So, Gaurav, your thoughts on that?
So I think Naveen has very rightly like mentioned about the challenges in the current scenario and how what kind of approach any brand should take, right? In current today's scenario, in like the trends, if we have to find out the emerging trends, like how we should be going. So I think talking to the customers and coming out with the solution for them, I think that is how you can move forward for any to identify any emerging trends. Because if we talk about 4 years ago, right, so there were a lot of legacy brands, and then the D2C brands started emerging, then trying to solve like coming up with some sugar free products, or coming up with Ayurvedic products in health and healthcare industry, right? Entirely revamping the whole ecosystem of brands that we are currently using and that we used to use 4 5 years ago. So right, it's and ups and downs will keep on coming, right? And the only thing that is going to stick is like you have to listen to the customers. You have to understand what they're trying to say, what are their pain points. And while in B2B it's very easy to talk to customers and identify their needs, but in B2C it's more you have to think from first principles perspective, how you can actually put them into their shoes as a user, so and you can identify things to do.
Awesome, great insight, Gaurav. Puneet, would you like to add on?
Sure. So I think along the same lines, I think, I mean, as Naveen was mentioning, Naveen has spent almost a decade. We also been around for a good number of years. I think we have seen, I mean, personally, I think I can remember at least 3 cycles of kind of this, sine curve as a startup journey that, I can recall, right? And this is a cycle. It's not like, I mean, we are going to stay in this kind of a phase forever, right? This will go, and then 2 3 years down the line, we'll again experience kind of craziness that we saw some, 15 18 months back, right? And the businesses that have the right unit economics and the right the right solutions for their customers, I think they'll not even not only survive but also thrive wonderfully, right? And we have seen, in fact, the best of the companies are built uh, during the worst of the times, right? So I mean, right now, as Naveen was, rightly talking about the cost of acquisition, right? The cost of acquisitions have obviously gone through the roof because now everybody had money, everybody was spending, and obviously, 35 40% of the VC funds, all that goes down to, Facebook and Google and all that, right? But at the end of the day, if you turn off all your, paid marketing campaigns, how much sale are you still generating? I think that is where the magic lies, right? How many of your customers are actually coming back to you, buying more and more products from you so that you can justify the high CAC, right? And that happens to any business, be it like an e-commerce D2C kind of a brand, or someone like us who basically have a very high per customer acquisition cost, and then over a period of time we justify the cost by serving them. So same business, same standard, the business principles basically apply to any kind of business. And I think e-commerce brands have to go through that. Obviously, we have seen kind of a craziness where people raised a lot of money, spend a lot of money, They didn't have the proper PMF, but just because they had the money, they were able to drive the sales and the top line, right? And now we are seeing a lot of consolidation, and this is good. This is a very healthy thing that's happening out there. I mean, I'm personally very excited because every time we have seen the market behaving this way, like if we wait for 12 to 18 months, I mean, we have seen things change drastically. And it has happened every time, it will happen again. I'm just waiting for the time to turn around, and all the efforts that all of us are putting in right now, I think they'll give us good results.
Abhishek, your views on that?
Yeah. So, so this festival, so how we can offer our customer what they're looking for is what, in the industry, what is trending, because the consumer is now much more aware of what is they are looking to buy. We are more, we are more, the exposure is higher than it has been before at every passing day. So we talked about industry, so I'm not going to talk about that. But what I would like to talk about is knowing your customer, what they are looking for. At an India Mart, we are very specifically focused on knowing what kind of products our customers are looking for. So we have millions of products, but 2080 rule applies everywhere. So understanding what that 20% of your product is, that is going to drive measure of your revenue. What is the user that what are they looking for nowadays? Because the trend keeps on changing. So I'd suggest that focus on your customer journey, see how they are interacting with your product. Invest a lot in analytics. You have a lot of data. Everyone has a lot of data. If you have a good critical mass of customers that's coming to you, invest time, because that is where you get the pulse of the market, whether your product, how many times it is getting clicked, how many product, how many people. So the customer funnel, I would say, is what one should focus, because you will also identify what your competitors are also looking for, because there are a lot of free tools in the market that you can also understand that, okay, this is my competitor, what kind of trending keywords are they going for, paying money, because we have a lot of inorganic spend that is happening. So what are they focusing on, how are the customers interacting with them, and how are we offering, what kind of service we are offering or a product. So I guess uh, knowing your customer, knowing the pulse of the market is what's gonna, also get you a boost in this festive season. You stay up in the market, stay informed of what they are looking for, offer them the right product, and pricing is also very important. So when you compare yourself with what is being offered from your competitors or from your peers, that's when you realize that, look, this is my optimal mix of product and price that a customer would go for. And then you can also invest a lot on your SEOs. So you do, because in India Mart, we really do thrive on the SEOs. We really work on that, because our goal has been, if a buyer is searching for something, we should be coming on the search results, and that has come over the time. It is not a single day task. You'll have to really invest from day one and then go to the days to get the result, and it is a very incremental one. It's not a very exponential increase that you see. So focus on your customer, focus on the journeys, try to understand what they are looking for and offer them the mix. I would say that is the way to boost and be stay relevant for this festive season.
Completely agree with you all. To capitalize on a new opportunity is really important for every brand to stay ahead of the competition. Follow the trends, especially during the festive and high demand shopping season. That's excellent. Great insights for all the attendees. I'm raising my next question to you, Naveen. Selecting the right e-commerce technology platform is a critical decision for all D2C merchants, as it can significantly impact their online success. So, as per you, what are the most efficient strategic methods or factors for D2C merchants to select an e-commerce technology platform that aligns seamlessly with their specific requirements and objective when embarking on their direct-to-consumer journey?
Hmm. See, I mean, I think from a tech stack perspective, uh, I would say no one cap fits all. There are many business models that brands have, I think. So we come from a headless commerce or a composable commerce approach or background. And that's where we are able to have a slightly unbiased view when it comes to the right choice of the tech stack for e-commerce. Let's phase, or if there's a very large catalog, so if there's a large catalog with very complex filters, or let's say it's a hyper local business, if it's a category where the nature of servicing is hyper local or omni-channel, I think those are business models that determine to an extent which platform may work better versus not. It's not just that on the front end, Shopify is the only answer. I'd say it is obviously one of the absolute forefront choices, but at scale or at different problem statements, there could be different platforms as well that serve the need. That's where you've got certain there are many global brands that are on Magento. There are some on Salesforce Commerce Cloud. There are custom platforms in India like Cartify, like Cartmax. We also have, so that's on the front end side. We're also interestingly in a very you know good scenario of the India e-commerce ecosystem where there's a lot of innovation in the tech stack. For example, even something like checkout optimizers have come into the picture. For on standard platforms, there are great plugins for operational efficiency. Obviously, the OMS, so the payment systems, the order management systems, they're all absolute necessary must-haves on the tech stack. There is no way, to do without it. Now with profitability being a core piece, retention marketing and having good, what you call as CPaaS or communication product as a service platforms that are able to reach out on custom events and journeys are an extremely important method of being able to scale your e-commerce with the customer lifetime value and the returning customer being a extremely important metric for unit economics of a business. So our recommendation would not be cookie cutter in terms of the tech stack. It depends on the business need, and then the journeys and the forks can be drawn on what's the right end to end. From the large or the monolithic platform to the plugin requirements at each part of the customer journey. And obviously we are in the information age. Almost all the tech partners and plugins in the ecosystem have great communication capabilities and and platforms that are able to communicate better, and that's why Amazon's just the leader in the customer experience, because no matter what, their post order journey communication is something that creates a lot of trust. So we would like to encourage and recommend tech stacks that are able to provide more transparency in the journey. And again, India is a strange, everything is unique in India. Even the COD problem is a unique problem. So a lot of technology solutions are built over that suit only this geography. And that's where whether it's eCom or Shipway, they're so focused on what the consumer is saying in India and are building for India. And then obviously these are also global products that can scale after a fork. But the target market is so large. In fact, all of us are fortunate to have at least 4 or 5 strong positive rivalry or competition within each swim lanes, because that's what keeps the product evolvement. That's what makes the customer market also grow. So yeah, I'd obviously all of us know that there are probably within each swim lane of the tech stack, there are a good 4 or 5 players that are serving our customers.
Absolutely, I wholeheartedly agree, and thank you so much for sharing these insights. I'm sure this gonna definitely resonate with the audience. Uh, Bringing my next question to your attention, Abhishek. The festive season is a very crucial time for businesses to capture the attention of shoppers and maximize their revenue. So, how businesses can optimize product listings to improve product discoverability during peak festive season? Abhishek, you are on mute.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just reading the question, so interesting question, couple of them. So yeah, so the question that you asked, that how a brand or a merchant can optimize their listing. So I would say that keep your content very relevant, focus on it, keep it changing. Don't fire and forget about it, that you updated it once and now it was done 2 years back, because those are the keywords that people are looking for, and they keep on changing going with the time. So again, going back to what I was saying earlier, is that know what they're looking for, put those keywords over there. So put the content very enriched, very relevant, because your customer also changes the age, so you get new set of customers that come into your kind of products that might be potential customers. So use what they are looking for, use what are the trending ones, because the lingos are, what are the industry lingos that are being used. So make sure you use them. Pictures, because it's online retail, there is no touch and feel of the product, so ensure that the image quality, the descriptions of the product, they are spick and span. You have high res pictures over there. And also a lot of like I have seen in my journeys, that sometimes your website is working very fine, but your mobile, it's not very responsive, and the Indian Janta is more on mobile than on the desktops. A lot of people surf on the go. So ensure that you are running something which is responsive on both the ends. You are able to cater to the maximum number of people that are using mobile. So keep the content relevant, use the latest keywords, make mobile site, handy and minimal clicks. So don't make the journey very hard. Make it easy, minimal clicks, so that you don't bother the customers with the journey becoming more difficult. So these are the few areas that that you can do that. Secondly, I would say is that as the festive season, so the coming 4 months are going to be a lot of festivals that are coming. So keep changing the theme according to the festival that is coming on, right? So you might have Raksha Bandhan, then you have Dashera. So you keep using banners, use high infographics over there to attract customers. And lastly, so don't just focus on one sales channels. Don't, right? You should able to put your listings on many channels that are there available for you, so that yes, you yourself have to work on your paid and in organic marketing, but you also have to leverage the platform that are available to you. Most of them are free as well, some charge the fees, so you can also balance out what, and also make your product differentiated in terms of, if you think that this platform is for your mass products, keep certain set of goods on that mass. If you are going for a premium marketplace, ensure that the kind of price points the product has are listed over there. So these are the things. So leverage the marketplaces that are there, and so there's Amazon for sure, right? Then the Flipkart. Also at India Mart, we are doing a lot of discovery related. We've launched an app. So if you are a D2C brand or even a marketplace that is looking to get more visitors that everybody's looking for, so you should list your product. They are easy API integration. So do that. Focus on the what the customer is looking for, and you should be good to go for this.
Completely agree with you, Abhishek. Product page is really important for any brand, and you really have to stuff the product page with relevant keywords, visuals, videos, customer reviews. Product description has to be intact, and like you mentioned, it has to be around the theme of the festive season. So these are all the factors which actually adding fuel to the product discoverability during the festive season. Awesome.
I
Uh,
just like to add,
Turning,
like, what I was
yeah.
saying, that because at a marketplace you are also listed amongst a lot of sellers. What keeps you separate, distinguished from others is what kind of content. So I'm talking about India Mart perspective. We have 65 lakh sellers, but not all are having the good content. And the ones which are having good contents are the ones which get the maximum number of conversions, right? So just having a listing is not good. Having an enriched listing is what anybody should strive for. Let's say.
True that. Awesome. Turning to you, my next question, Gaurav. As per you, what strategies can e-commerce businesses employ to optimize fulfillment process and minimize the order processing times to enhance their overall customer experience, especially during this high demand festive season?
Okay, sure. So, majorly, like if we talk about, there are different problems at different scale, right? If you're doing like 1,000 orders a month or 10,000 orders a month, you have a different problem. And if you're doing more number of orders, right, you are having a different problem. Because uh, if you're doing more than 10,000, then the problem is like how to stack up the right amount of inventory uh, before the festive season, right? And to be able to fulfill all the number of orders that you are expecting. And if you're having like less number of orders, so there are a lot of other use cases where you need to have a robust order management system in place, right? So that you can keep track of your orders, you can easily ship them without any hassles. And some things which are common, like that everyone needs to take care of in this festive season is like you have to be very proactive in terms of customer communication, because as you get a lot of orders, you get a lot of returns order as well, right? And there are a lot of order gets lost or orders gets the customer there are a lot of RTOs as well. So you need to have a proactive communication with the customer about their deliveries, about their where exactly is their order. If there is a delay, you need to proactively tell that there might be some delay of a couple of days or so, because there are a lot of sometimes like majorly in like festive season, the delays are there in all the carriers, throughout the carriers. So at least if we can tell the customer that so there will be some delay, so that actually help them in a way that you are proactive enough and that save you the RTO. And on similar to RTO, there are a lot of return order as well. Like in festive, there is a lot of impulsive buying and people tend to return orders as well. And so in order to hand, you will be blasted with a lot of customer queries regarding like I want to return my order. You need to have a robust automated return. You can say return mechanism in place where you can automatically take the return request or schedule the pickup and provide the refund or exchange orders. So these are some of the key points where you need to be ready in order to serve the customer in a better way, right? Because any bad experience to any customer is like they are not going to come back again to your site. And in today's time, repeat customer is something everyone is focusing on, and you cannot miss that part, because a repeat customer is, I think, the key core component of any sustainable D2C brand growth. I think these are some of the key things.
Yeah, awesome. Precisely by implementing, I think these strategies, brands can definitely minimize their order processing times, and this is how they will improve their RTOs and improve their post-purchase customer support and satisfaction during this festive season. Wonderful. Puneet, here comes my following question to you. What strategies can business adopt to accurately forecast and plan their inventory needs for the festive season?
So I think inventory planning as a subject is obviously fairly complex, and I mean every business has their own way of forecasting, their own their own way of figuring out how much to stock, and obviously they have to optimize for. Obviously, you should not overstock, and you should not run out of inventory as well. And there are few things that can help make decisions on these factors. So one thing is obviously we look at the past history. What happened during the last festive season. What happened when, let's say, the Independence Day sale happened. What happened during that time? Which marketplace or which channel is basically promoting what kind of products. So you look at that kind of history and plan basis. That is one thing. Then obviously, I mean, between the catalog, I mean, our own catalog, we have to segregate the products which are very high selling, like our hero SKUs, right? There will be some which will be in the medium range. these top hero SKUs will probably drive the brand presence more, and then they'll basically pull the other SKUs together, right? So identifying those hero ones and making sure that we don't run out of stock on those ones, right? That is important. Then which ones, then also keep a tab of what our competition is doing, what kind of items, I mean, they are promoting, what kind of promotions they are running, so we can get some intelligence from that and apply that intelligence into planning our own inventory. Now, obviously, once you plan for it, obviously there are a bunch of things that we have to keep in mind for our own, how much production capacity our vendors have, or we have, how much lead time these vendors are going to have once I place the order with them, how much storage capacity I have, how much storage charges I'm going to pay if I'm using a 3PL partner. Are there any transportation delays expected? So all these factors have to be essentially kept in mind while essentially planning. And that way you can ensure that you receive the right amount of inventory in the timely fashion. And obviously there is no right answer to it. You basically plan it out and then you keep iterating, keep improving. And sometimes, I mean, depending on the kind of the business, if you're able to have some kind of JIT model where just in time inventory, make to order, that kind of a setup, obviously those options, I mean, brands obviously will explore.
Awesome insights for all the online merchants. I think it's really important for any brand to manage their inventory effectively. It will not be they will not able to manage it. It will lead to higher RTOs or probably a bad customer experience. So during the festive season, I think they have to arm themselves with all the best solutions in the market provided in the market to manage their inventory. Great. Directing my next question to you, Naveen. As per you, what are the prevailing challenges that D2C brands frequently confront during the product discovery process? And what are the proven strategies that can be implemented to tackle these challenges and drive successful product outcomes?
Yes, so the product discovery, if I focus to that part, I think uh, the panelists have in some way or form, kind of covered the points, but I'll just try and, summarize it together. I think, we're talking about the product market fit. I think the PMF is extremely critical. I think when season comes and people want to scale, a lot will then realize, Puneet was talking about the clutter and the fact that the clutter is not there now will create more innovation. It's a good thing. But we will still have a lot of them which would then realize that just building up inventory will not sell more product. And that's where some will realize that that's where the content play, the end-to-end 360-degree of brand communications, what we're calling as the content to commerce journey. Even on the site, when you look at discovery, I think on D2C sites, one of the things that is generally fairly poor is the basics of search, sort, and filter. The Indian customer is used to shopping on a Amazon or a Myntra, and there is no way that any one of us find our products by going through the menu and the category structure. We first go to search, or whatever results come, then we start doing our. And that's the natural drift, even if you think of how you shop. There is no way to find what you want on such a large selection without using search. However, when it comes to D2C, the D2C founder thinks, yeah, mera to 200-400 product hai. But the customer behavior is still the same. So from a discoverability standpoint, I think that science of what are the first 20 products on each page, what are the options of sort and filter that are there. Some catalogs are really small. Every catalog doesn't need to be large, depending on the kind of the brand, And then if you've got search and sorts, which end up with landing pages of only 2 products, it is possible on a D2C site. It's never possible on a large marketplace. So, those things need to be thought of much better. the D2C brands that have scaled well have really looked at their product selection, curation, aligning their stock planning with what is visible at the top of the landing pages, and then being able to align and push your marketing to that strategy. And very small things. I think one of the panelists was talking about cataloging. A lot of the brands think that my newest catalog has to be visible at the top of a page on a website. And then the brand realizes that, अरे मेरा newest range की वजह से मेरा पूरा average order value गिर गया, because the new range was a discounted range. And then it created a huge impact on the return on ad spends. So in some cases, I think the marketplaces do it well. They don't give too much control to the brand or the seller. The rules are theirs. The best practices are theirs. The sellers have to follow. When it comes to D2C, so, I think there is this, urge to, fix what's not broken. कि अजी आज COD हटा के देखते क्या होगा, और shipping charge 99 rupees लगा के देखते क्या होगा, just because we can do it, unlike a marketplace where you can't do it. So, I think the customer behavior is a huge science, and we're all students of it. Trying to locally in D2C, tinker with that really ends up compromising the purchase funnel. Yeah. And it seems that always, the pressure comes on marketing and ROI only, or OS. Let's say if just because your post-order management is weak and you need to do it in your own D2C, you don't need to take care of it in marketplaces. So it's a new thing for a lot of D2C brands. And a lot of the challenges come only when scale comes. In your 100 orders per day, you don't face those challenges. In your 500, in your 1,000 orders a day, on your own portal, you face different challenges. So, I think that gross to net journey, really is, and in fact, when brands or businesses say we want to increase ROI, it's fairly strange, although obviously that is the business, but you cannot impact ROI directly. ROI is a derivative metric. You can't change ROI. You can change the input drivers to increase ROI. So the focus, I think in these areas is what we would say can improve the conversion funnel from a discoverability perspective. Sorry for the long answer there.
Trust me, Navin, I'm just loving every bit of it. And then the insight which you have shared, that a search filter has to be intact on the website in order to, discover your product. This is a very keen, insight which you have a tip which you have shared with our audience. Definitely gonna resonate with them. So moving ahead with my next question, Puneet, what lessons can business learn from past instances of inventory mismanagement during festive season, and how can they avoid repeating those mistakes?
Sure. I think there are a couple of things that obviously brands that have been around for a while, they'll know this. But for the newer brands, some of the things that you'll not expect can happen during the festive season. For example, we have seen cases where brands are not able to send stock to marketplace warehouses like FBA, Amazon warehouses, and all that, because these warehouses have run out of space. Right? Sometimes we have seen, fulfillment centers breaking down during the peak sales season, and brands having, no redundancy essentially. All the inventory might be stored in a single location. Now, if that FC goes down, if their internet breaks or something happens, suddenly you're not able to fulfill orders for 2 days, and that's a disaster, right? So building those redundancies, having storing inventory close to your customers rather than having a single FC, I think and also having, I mean, not completely being dependent on marketplaces for the fulfillment piece, having your own fulfillment, or you can partner with some 3PL. These are some of the not so obvious mistakes that people make. You can purchase inventory, but if there is no space in Amazon, you don't have the expertise to run a warehouse, what do you do? Right? So these kind of capabilities, I mean, we have seen some of the younger brands who basically struggle with these kinds of questions, and sometimes they'll make a rash decision saying, we'll go ahead and partner with some 3PL, end up paying exorbitant storage charges, fulfillment charges, and all of that. So I think a little bit of pre-planning, a little bit of redundancy will basically go a long way in basically managing the inventory properly during the top festive season.
Completely agree. I think pre-planning is really important, especially managing your inventory when you are hitting the festive season. Otherwise, we will end up in with the bad customer experience or extra cost and higher ratios. Yeah. So I'm raising my last question of the session to you, Abhishek. How to leverage various sales channels for creating a buzz and enhance product discoverability?
Yeah, so sales channels. So let's try to understand the word, right? So sales channels are basically the ones that are, apart from your own website, where all are you selling. So whatever platform that you are using to run your online store, it may be a Shopify, it may be a Wix, it may be a Magento. So what I'll recommend all the attendees that you should explore the whole ecosystem of the apps that are there in terms of what are they offering to get you onboarded onto different marketplaces. Of course, there are ways that you can go to a particular, marketplace, get yourself listed, but there are a lot of APIs, integration apps already created by these marketplaces to help you list your products with 1 or 2 clicks, which also takes the hassle away of going manually and uploading the products. Everything is taken care automatically, and then there are a lot of order management systems as well, as that are there, that also takes care of your inventory. So ensure that you are connecting your catalog from your source, from your web store, to different order management systems, marketplaces, sales channels, so that it is easily available at once. All the changes are reflected. So ensure that the catalog is relevant, is latest. The products which are in stock should be shown in stock on all the other marketplaces as well. So ensure that you are making the most of the ecosystem of the apps that are available to you for free. They're free to use. Of course, you can get onboarded on the premium plans, but most are free, right? First of all, I would like to say, do the ecosystem exploration very well. Secondly, is that explore what are the other ways on that particular marketplaces to give you a boost and to let you have more discoverability. You should analyze, create a plan in terms of, okay, if I'm listed on 3 marketplaces, what kind of ROI, what kind of results I'm looking for, and then you should be able to work towards it. If it's a big marketplace and you are getting a lot of conversions out of it, then you should also look at having, dedicated people to look after those accounts, right? So if, for example, if a brand is listed on Amazon, Flipkart, and say India Mart, then if you are getting good enough ROI, that is, making you, viable to have one key account for these, do that, because it might seem to be a cost to you, but they are going to work along with the account managers in that particular marketplace to push your product further. It might cost you, but the longer results, look at the longer run that you will get, you'll reap a lot of benefits out of it. So, invest your time and money if you see a potential. Of course, go for a free plan. Don't just jump onto a premium plan. Test the platform first and see that where you are doing. Do a hygiene check whether your products are rightly mapped into the right categories or not, and then go for a premium plan if it allows you to do so. So these are the two very things that one should do. And third, of course, I always talk about is the content, because whatever you push over there is going to get you traction. Because like in India Mart right now, we are having, within a year we have around 2,000 brands, D2C brands, right? We started with smaller brands. Now we have likes of Boat, right, that are listed on our platform, and it's a free integration, so anybody could have done it. How we help is that we, because you know how the user journey is, as Navin was also saying, that a lot of people go for search. If I know I want to go on Amazon, I'll still go on Amazon search and then find the product. But most of us as well look for Google searches, right? And the journey starts from there, that you search a product, you write shirt there on Google, whatever listings come over there, buyer comes on those first few listings. Now, either your SEO is that strong that you are listed on that, or you are spending that much sponsored money so that a sponsored ad is coming. So if you are not coming on to those, hatch out to a marketplace which is listed. So in India Mart, what we do, if you are selling a shirt, because of our SEO, you tend to come on the first few results. Of course, it's an India Mart listing, but it's your product listing. And when somebody clicks on your product, we redirect you, that buyer, to that Shopify or whichever store you are running. So you are able to generate traffic to your store for free. That you can also invest with the sponsored ads, but here you are getting that kind of SEO visibility for free. So see what are the options around you and take advantage of free tools first of all, so that it gives you a boost and you are making the most of what is available to you. So these are the few things that you can do to improve and make the most of all the sales channels that are there. There's like nowadays there's a lot of buzz around WhatsApp commerce. You leverage that because you can directly. What I guess I don't read my messages that, and this with everybody. We all are attuned to checking WhatsApp more than messages, except the OTPs that we get. So the WhatsApp commerce is something. There's a lot of tools that are certain plan is free, but of course it's a freemium model. But you should try to leverage that because you are able to reach directly to the customer. So WhatsApp commerce is very new and very hot right now, that one should try to really make the most of it. And sooner or later there are many things. Facebook, so this is connected. It's a Meta company, so all is connected to your Facebook account. Your catalog is synced. So it's a lot of I've used it myself. So it's very interesting to use and good ROI that you get.
Amazing insight shared by Abhishek. Naveen, Puneet, Gaurav, would you like to add Abhishek point of view?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I think you summarized it very well.
Yeah.
All right. So some of our attendees have asked a few questions, so let's pick them there. One attendee has asked, how can we ensure that our products are effectively showcased and easy to find on various platforms and channels during the season?
I can take a quick stab at that. I mean, clearly, the question is amongst all the clutter of a large catalog, how can my catalog or a seller's catalog stand out, or how can our listings become more visible? I think very interestingly, in this past year, or especially in the past few quarters, the marketplaces have created a lot of properties for a brand to be able to display their content and actually do much more active, kind of keyword based SEO on platforms. So your A plus content pages, your brand stores, those kinds of properties are now, which were earlier only available on an Amazon for a while, now are available across almost a lot more. So that is on the organic side. Organic though is and it's more content creation driven. So earlier it was thought that only content creation ke liye apna D2C karna hai, but now the marketplace have also enabled that same content can go across marketplaces as well to give you a little bit more boost. The other is obviously your sponsored ads. A lot of the portals now during the seasons, everyone's doing marketplace ads, and obviously the marketplaces have created ads as a huge monetization opportunity for themselves, and obviously brands can increase their sale during those times. So those are, I mean, very similar to your own D2C. You've got strong content, organic as well as paid opportunities to make your listings more visible, and get a higher glance view rate at least.
Okay, another attendee has asked one question. Are there any specific tools or technologies for collecting and analyzing customer feedback? Anyone can jump on that. Um, Naveen and Abhishek, Puneet,
I think there
Gaurav.
are plenty of tools available in the market. If you are having a Shopify store, so you can search in Shopify App Store, right? So you can get a lot of apps. But if we talk about on a broader level, there are like two, three metrics where you can actually study the customer success metrics like CSAT scores, right? Where and NPS score. Like these are the two key metrics that are being used in the industries specific to D2C, right? So, for example, like anyone having a score of 450 and above in the any NPS score, so that is a good score, right? That is something like people see you as a brand. People you don't treat you just another D2C brand. People see you as a brand which can be a which can have a high LTV as well as high you can say customer retention. Right. So there are a lot of tools available in the market. I think you can just search on Shopify. If you are on Shopify, yeah, there are a lot of tools available. You can just install that.
Thank you, Gaurav, for sharing your insights. Naveen, Abhishek, would you like to add on?
So for analyzing the customer feedback, like as Shopify App Store has plenty of them that we also have come across. On the feedback side, I would also say that on the journeys when you do right, so of course focus on the customers who have bought it, but also take feedback from the customers who have not bought your product because those are the ones that you lost on, right? And there's can be done that you can implement a lot of surveys on the website on your web store. There's a lot of customization that can be done, right? So try understanding from the customers when they because for that you need data who that particular customer is. Try to gamify, the whole buying experience and understand, give them push to reach to higher levels so that you are engaging with them and then you are able to conduct a very enriched kind of a customer feedback. So put that kind of a feedback mechanism on your web store so that you are able to give them an option to provide feedback as well.
Thank you so much, Abhishek, for sharing the details with our audience. All right, everyone, there are
There is
bunch
one
of
question I think Mandeep has asked.
okay.
So he's been asking in starting. So I think the question is not all 100% D2C brands are solving problems. I see many newbies launch many products which are already present in the market by legacy brands with differential brand name, exciting packaging, etc. In the context where, what are your point of views?
Anyone can pick this up.
I mean, it's a view. I don't see the question to answer. It's an honest view. It's a fair view. It happens. It happens in the offline space also all the time. When a range comes in, uh, let's say even in footwear, for example, A6, Onitsuka Tiger. Now every brand has those stripes. You see what's selling in the market, and now with bestsellers and the sort and the reviews in terms of popularity of products is so visible in the front end. So a lot of you're able to know, ki, acha, this brand is doing well. Here are the top products. Let's create similar range. Uh, I mean, and yeah, that online makes it so much easier to get quickly at that. So it's just one of the ongoing challenges, and I don't even think it's a challenge any longer. It's
It's
something
an
that
opportunity.
Right,
that's
and I think a lot of time I mean, the agenda here is to build a sustainable business, right? It's not here to always innovate. I mean, it's a little bit counterintuitive, but if you think about it, like if you walk into any store, you see these Haldiram Bhujia, right? And besides that, you'll see these 10 different brands which you've never heard of. They'll make slightly different change to the Bhujia flavor, and we as a consumer, we end up trying those products, and we'll never remember those brands. But if you add up all the sales that happens by sitting next to Haldiram, it's a sizable business opportunity for anybody to take up, and that happens like Navin talked about in the shoes, right? I mean, how many of us can really afford to buy a 10,000 rupees shoe, right? And we'll be surprised to know there are so many brands or so many manufacturers, so as to say, who are selling 500 rupees sports shoes, which looks exactly the same as like a Nike shoes, for example, right? It obviously it won't be as durable, but but who cares about durability these days, right? And so we can look at the customer segment that we are going after and offer a similar product and create a business opportunity for ourselves.
So I'll just add two things. So bilkul rightly mentioned by Naveen and Puneet, right? So you have to identify what kind of customer you want to serve, basically, right? And you also need to understand, right? Any D2C brand, it's a pure game of distribution, right? It's not only you have to be very innovative with the products. No, it's not that game, but it's a game of distribution, right? If you can actually identify what exactly is your right customer profile, like whether you want to target mid segment, whether you want to target like upper segment, whether you want to target like the elite class, right? And you have to, and what category you want to serve in, and then then you have to create the products, and then you have to create the story that actually sticks. And once the story starts sticking into the customer's mind, and then you will start building, then you'll be able to start building the brands, right? So earlier, like as Puneet also mentioned Haldiram's example, so I studied one case study. So Haldiram actually became very famous because everyone used to sell bhujiyas, right, at the time. And then they came up with bhujia, which is very nicely, which is crisp and small in like size, right? They differentiated that bhujia, and that become very famous. Everyone loves to have that bhujia. So that is why Haldiram became Haldiram, because everyone was selling bhujia at the time, and Haldiram came in some excellent crisp bhujiyas, right, which differentiated them across the markets, and then they pick it from there, and then there was no looking back. So once you become a brand, so then I think there is no looking back, and you just need to identify and tweak a little and start going on.
Completely agree with you, Gaurav, and all. I think differentiation is the key strategy to move ahead in the market and stand out. So, all right, everyone, there are a bunch of insights that we could have talked about and picked up, but unfortunately, the time is running short. So, we have reached the conclusion of this fantastic session with our amazing group of panelists. It truly was an informative session. I hope you all liked the session. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our wonderful speakers and audience for taking out the time and the part of this event. Gaurav, Puneet, Naveen, and
Thank,
Abhishek, would you like to
thank,
say thanks to our audience?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
the
you
opportunity.
everyone for joining.
All the
Thank
best,
you.
everyone. Have a great festive season.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
guys, this is not where it ends. We have a lot more events lined up for you, so don't forget to check our event page. On that note, I would like to say goodbye to everyone who have joined us here today and all the best for the festive season. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Thank
Jen.
you.
God
Thank you.
bless.